Have you ever lied to yourself, told yourself you didn't belong? I remember when I was about 8 years old, and these young kitty bitches told me that I couldn't join their clubhouse because my name didn't begin with the letter A. And from that moment on, I questioned myself. Do I fit in? Was it given ugly? Was I not cool enough? Turns out I am that girl. I am the clubhouse, the table, and all above. So this is to you, Amanda, Ashley, and Aaliyah. Fuck imposter syndrome, and fuck you.
Sometimes I wonder why I'm just so blessed. Like God really just keep on blessing me, and it's not fair to you hoes. Nigga, what the fuck do I look like? A walk in the park, bitch? You gotta pay for this. Take your fucking drawers off, nigga. Get naked in this bitch. Y'all fucking it up for bitches like me. Bad bitches. Bitches with self-esteem.
Yes, I indulge in talking shit. Do I have the facts to back this up?
Welcome back to the Diamond Dosage podcast. It's your girl Diamond, and I'm really happy to be back recording. It's been 2 years. I took some time off, but I'm back and I'm excited. So this season we're gonna get into some things as far as like women transitioning from their 20s to their 30s. So like stories from our 20s, the things that have affected us, the things that we've been through, and just the shit that people don't really talk about. I was told that, I'm getting older, right? So I want something a little different. I'm not that same girl that was 24 years old talking about niggas ain't shit, even though I haven't let that thought go all the way. There's more things to talk about. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm here with two ladies, two amazing guests. I have Kia and I have Miss Pretty Riot in the building. And we're going to talk about some shit that basically affects a lot of people who don't speak about it, imposter syndrome. But I'm going to give the ladies a chance to introduce themselves. Go ahead, Kia.
Okay, so hey y'all, hey. My name is Kia Smith. I am an author, a published speaker, and a self-love advocate, and I am also the creator of Write Yourself a Love Letter Challenge.
Okay.
So I'm super happy to be on Diamond's podcast.
Yes, I'm happy to have you. And tell them you got two of your books in stores right now.
Yes, I'm a two-time self-published author. I have my first book and my second book in Soulful Book Lounge, which is on 1508 West 18th Street in the Pilsen area. So if it is a Black woman-owned mental health book lounge. So if you would like to go into the bookstore and purchase a book, that is a place that you can purchase it. So I'm super excited about that.
Thank you, Kia.
Hi, everybody. What's up, y'all? So I'm Pretty Riot. So I'm a radio host here in Chicago and Illinois radio. I do that every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Outside of that, I'm also a spoken word artist. I've been on a few different songs from different artists in the city: Kid Breeze, Audrey Valentine, Joel Q, Richie West. I've been a blogger. I'm right now on a break right now, so I'm on the rebrand, so I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Like, I'm kind of picking up some things. So I've been doing my Pretty Uncensored live series on Wednesday, so I'm giving that a break. But yeah, I'm just an overall creative. I'm cool. I'm here. I'm happy to be here. I was so happy that you asked me to be a part of this because we had a really good conversation when we did Pretty Uncensored.
I always talk. I feel like I talk to y'all a lot. It's weird. Like we always have these conversations, but we never sat down and like did a podcast together.
Yeah.
And it's funny because y'all on here acting like y'all angels, especially Miss Riot. You be
Look, I'm acting like no angel shit.
nah, because your tweets, you be having like you be cussing niggas out in the DM.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As she should.
Absolutely.
As she
Why?
should.
Because they come at you the wrong way?
Yeah. Like, I think if you're going to come at me respectfully, then we could have a respectful conversation. We could flirt it off. But, like, if
What's
you
the craziest DM you received?
have you not? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Because, look, I got the screenshots. But, no, I think the craziest one that made me the most uncomfortable, there was a guy in my DM that was like, all praise to Allah. Bring me your body. It was really weird. Like, he was talking about the iPhone 12. It was really weird. But yeah, like I get wild, or actually, yeah, no, I get really wild stuff in my DMs quite often. So yeah, I be cussing niggas out because
You got to
stop
actually.
playing with me. Stop playing with me.
So, thank y'all for introducing yourself. So we're gonna get into something today that I think a lot of people, especially myself, I've struggled with. is imposter syndrome. It's funny because I just saw that tweet that I showed you, Kia, that they say imposter syndrome is not real, and it was created to make Black women feel like they're not like in a certain space or whatever. Because as a Black woman, we don't really see that many people represent us or where we want to go or whatever. And I was looking at something that was saying like imposter syndrome is you just being uncomfortable with the status shift. Like, am I really this person? Am I really worthy of moving up in the ladder? So do y'all feel like y'all have ever like suffered with imposter syndrome?
I would say yes, absolutely. I would say, so as you know, we've been in a mental, not even a mental, physical health or national health pandemic for the past 2 years. So that first year, 2020, going from having like jobs and like opportunities and things, and then having it like just shift and it be nothing for like 9 months, and then having to re-enter the workspace. I feel like imposter syndrome makes you feel as if you shouldn't be in a specific area, you shouldn't be in a specific career field, just different things like that. And I do think it is very real. I think in reference to what you're talking about, like when they were talking about like, you know, just proximity to whiteness and just different things like that. I honestly cannot relate because I do not interact with white people as often, but I still think that, so I think proximity to whiteness, imposter syndrome, I think that is a very real thing. But then even without like proximity to whiteness, I think that imposter syndrome is still very real because you can go your whole entire life or a short period of your life not interacting with certain people and then still feeling like you don't belong. And I think coming from 2020 to transitioning to 2021, it's just like, okay, you're trying to get acclimated to the workforce and just different things like that. Imposter syndrome is still very real because you still question yourself like, oh, am I good enough? Do I have the credentials? Am I dope enough? Like, am I sounding stupid and I'm looking am I looking stupid? And I think it's very, very real depending on like what sector, you know, you're in.
It's very real. It's like personally, I don't think people really know this, but I feel like I've always had like two personalities. And like me and Kia was just kind of speaking about this earlier. Like I'm very reserved and shy sometimes, but it's like people expect me to be like, walk up to them like niggas ain't shit. Like, and like be like, I'm a man. Like, and that's not me. Like, and I'm very reserved in some settings. So it kind of like, it's like a battle within myself sometimes. Like, am I weird? Am I weird for posting this? Like, and I think people who have become so visible online, socially, like that it's kind of like when I do it, sometimes it doesn't feel right to me, like posting things because it's like, am I trying too hard? Is this going to be received well? And also like, especially like us and like what we do as far as like being in the entertainment and media and like blogging and stuff like that. And it's like, are we really making influence? And like, do people actually give a fuck? And like imposter syndrome is basically like feeling like a fraud. Basically like somebody's going to find out that I'm really not this person or something like that. So
I want to speak on that, what you said as far as like feeling like a fraud, because absolutely I agree with you guys. Imposter syndrome does exist. But I think when you think about it in a sense of feeling like a fraud, it's like, who am I looking like a fraud to? Because at the end of the day, you're not in the room with me when I'm having conversations with God. And like, while people around you may have expectations for you that are good, that are bad, whatever the case may be, like that may not be aligned with what I got in store for me, with what God got in store with me. So am I really thinking about being a fraud when it comes to imposter syndrome? Not so much me. Like for me, imposter syndrome really revolves around doubt. I'm a person, like I'm super creative.
Yes.
I get pulled in different directions by so many of the projects that I want to do. So a lot of times it's hard for me to kind of like lock in and sit down and like actually do something. And I'm like, damn, am I doing too much? They're going to be like, damn, this bitch
doing too much, right?
This bitch doing something else. Now you're doing this and now you're doing that. But it's like, I'm also not going to hold myself back and not at least try it. And I feel like for me, that's the way that I try to overcome my imposter syndrome by, at least I'm going to give it a shot. Yeah, because I feel like everybody deals with doubt. I'm not going to sit in a space and act like I'm just
right.
No, I be in my head. I'm a Virgo.
Right.
Okay.
I
so
know
like,
y'all really hard on yourselves.
Extremely. So that's why I said because when I saw that in the notes, I said that's a really good point, and I really thought about that. Like, who am I being a fraud to if I do feel like I'm having imposter syndrome?
Right, because bitches don't even like themselves at the end of the day, and it's like we be so worried about how people will perceive us, and like, can we even control that? Really, can we control how people perceive us at all?
Absolutely not. You can't control how other people perceive you, receive you. You can't control any of that. What you can control is putting your best foot forward, being authentic to who you are and what you do, and then like doing shit that makes you happy. Period. Point blank. Those are the only things that you can control. But like how other people receive it, absolutely not.
So do y'all think like not self-doubt, but imposter syndrome comes from low self-esteem, or is it just something that most successful people deal with?
I would say it's a combination of both, because I think with low self-esteem, like, I think it's very natural to kind of doubt yourself, like, unless you have this very, like, overarching belief that, like, I'm dope, I'm the rawest stuff.
Kanye West.
Absolutely. Like, Kanye West, absolutely. Like, a part of Kanye West's success, if you watched his documentary.
I did.
You saw that he had relentless and unwavering faith in himself. It did not matter if Rock Nation didn't fuck with him. It did not matter if the people on the block didn't mess with him. What mattered is that Kanye believed in him, and then also his mama believed in him. Relentless, unwavering. So I think when it comes to like yourself, sometimes people doubt themselves, period, point blank. They doubt themselves where it's like, okay, I know that I'm dope and I know that I'm capable, but like, what if I'm not?
Yeah.
What if I don't think that I live up to this ideal of what I have? But then also at the same time, like, so other people's opinions, and yeah, I'm gonna just go with opinions. Other people's opinions might also be like, nah, you ain't that raw.
Right.
But who is somebody to tell you, like, you know, you not that raw? If you feel like you that raw and you putting in that work to amplify that you're that raw, who is somebody to tell you, like, you not that raw? You know? So I think it's a combination of self-doubt and low self-esteem, because sometimes you might not think highly of yourself. Like, other people can think you dope. You dope as hell. You dope as hell. But if you don't believe that, then what can somebody else say to you to make you believe that shit? You have to believe that shit for yourself.
And that's why I think, like, because that's why I've been so conflicted, like, sometimes with myself, because it's funny how people, like, will perceive you. And it's like, that's not how I see myself at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially,
But
like,
why?
Yeah. But especially, like, me, because people think I'm just, like, this type of person. Like, that's just what it is. And, like, put me in a box as far as being, like, this outspoken, bold, sexual person or whatever the fuck. But it's like, actually, I'm totally different than that. And it's just like, I feel like when we step into our authentic self, we wouldn't really give a fuck about what other people say or how their expectations on us.
No, absolutely. And that's what I was going to walk into. I think I've kind of gotten to the point where, like, the only person I'm really trying to prove something to is myself. Like, I've kind of gotten past, like, I feel y'all, like, sometimes it matters, and you're listening to stuff, you seeing people work around you, you feel that pressure. But I've gotten to the point that the only person I want to prove something to is myself, because that's who matters. You talk about people don't be happy with themselves.
But
like,
how did you get there?
Shit, time. Like, for me personally, like, when I'm going through something, I go into hermit mode. So, like, I lost my dad. Like, the last 2 years for me have been really a lot. Like, I kind of just pulled back, like, and just, like, reevaluated a lot. Like, I switched career paths. Like, you want to talk about imposter syndrome? Like, I'm now working in tech. So now I'm, like, one of the only black people in the room, one of the youngest people, the only woman, you know? So, like, I've been in a weird transition. So it's just like I have to wake up every day and I have to be comfortable being Destiny. Like, fuck a Pretty Riot. Y'all know that. Y'all see that. But I have to be Destiny before I do anything else. Like when I wake up in the morning, Destiny has to wash her ass. Destiny got to get to this bread. You feel me? So like, I don't know, I took that time. Like, I journal, like, I started going to therapy. Like, I really just started to do things that, like, fed into me. Like, like, shit, I just took the time and did the work. Like, I don't know how to fluff it out and make it sound all pretty sometimes, but, like, because the shit was ugly. I was depressed. Like, y'all was not seeing me on social medias. And if y'all was, I probably was forcing myself to do it just so people would know that I was cool. But, like, I had to take my time, go through my shit, feel the feels instead of trying to avoid it and numb it and go over it and actually just for once in my life sit in what I was feeling and what I was dealing with, because sometimes you gotta sit in it to get through it. I had to sit in it, observe, take a step back, and I'm coming back out to the world.
Yes.
So
I honestly feel like that's just kind of like what I went through, because it was a big shift for me personally. Like these last 2 years, I didn't create shit. I feel like I couldn't. Like I felt like it would have been inauthentic of me to even put something out there that was not me at that time. And it's funny because like when you're going through your 20s or whatever, you're learning a lot of shit. You're experiencing a lot of people dating these niggas, losing friendships, gaining it's just a lot going on in your 20s, and you're just shifting it all out. And it's just like, these are the things that kind of make us us, like our relationships, our careers. Those are the things that make us us. So it's like when we lose those attachments to people or they're not in our life anymore, who are we? And like that's why I always say like we can't really attach ourselves to certain things to create our own our identity or whatever. But imposter syndrome for me is I really feel like I focus on how how I'm perceived a lot, and I'm really getting to that point where I just don't give a fuck anymore. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, I feel that 100%.
Do you think it gets in the way of like certain things that you want to do, but you feel like you're not capable of? Where's the deep side?
Look, because like if I'm gonna sit here and be honest, like yes and no. Like personally, I'm a resilient person. Like sometimes like giving up doesn't really cross my mind. It's just like regrouping. It's like I'm gonna take a step back and regroup, but I'm not gonna give up with shit I want to do, because if I don't get it done, then I'm not gonna have what the fuck I want out of life. I'm not gonna have. I just take a step back and regroup, but quit, oh, never. Like I'm going to always check back into the game. So I don't know if it's just resilience, but I'm going to say yes and no. Like it enters my mind, but I've gotten to the point where it's like, nah, fuck that. You're better than that. Like Kia said, like if you don't believe yourself is dope, then nobody else will. So you got to start with yourself first. Gas yourself up. You are fucking BP. As fucking high as gas prices is. Gas yourself up. For real though. For real.
I feel like this is what I feel like. To agree with Destiny, like if you don't feel like you dope, you're not dope. But like there's never. I feel like
some people need to stop rapping.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Please. What? They shouldn't stop rapping.
They should have never
like,
started.
There's so many other things. Just get behind the boards.
What do you mean? They should have never started.
Please.
But aside from that, I feel like this. If there, I had an old boss. We'll call her that. An old superior, old boss at the job that I had. She used to tell me like, if you're in a room, there's a reason why you're in that room, and you should never doubt why you're in that room. And that was a really hard concept for me to grasp over the past like 12 months, because it's just like, I don't have these degrees. I don't have, these credentials. I have not been working in this industry for that long, but she just used to tell me, if you're in the room, there's a reason why you're in the room. So with imposter syndrome, I kind of feel like if I'm in a room and I'm meant to be around these people, there is like a reason why I'm there. Let me figure out that reason why I'm there and focus less on, oh, I don't fit in. Oh, I don't look like them. Oh, I don't have the credentials. Oh, I don't have the degrees. just different things like that. There's a reason I'm in this room. So let me figure it out.
Do you feel like people need like evidence to be like, oh, this is really me, like I'm really that bitch? Or do you feel like people just speak for themselves?
I feel like as far as evidence, you definitely need to see people who look like you in certain positions. So like if I was 23 again and I saw a young woman who was an author, who was a public speaker, who was a workshop facilitator, I would need to see that young woman and be like, you know what, this is the things that I aspire to do, and I know that it's possible. She came from the same background as me. She came from the same college as me. She came from the same area in Chicago as me. So I know for a fact that is absolutely possible, because those are the women that I looked up to. Like I would not have been who I am now if I did not see women before me. But even if I did not see those women, I had to have a relentless and unwavering faith in myself to believe, like, you know what, it can and absolutely can be done, regardless of what I see before me. So if that answers your question.
That definitely does.
Absolutely.
Honestly, what was the question? Like, I was listening, but I'm trying to formulate this.
No, it's okay. I was basically just saying, like, do we need evidence to, like, prove that, okay, we are this person?
Yeah, I think it helps to see it because, like, I'm a person of progress. So, like, I like to see the little strides that I've made along the way. So I think, like, if you look at it in that way, like, if you want evidence of your progress, then yes, I think that is the kind of things that will like fuel your unwavering faith, and like actually fuel that and put that energy behind it. But yeah, that's kind of
I think imposter syndrome probably has gotten worse since we're so visible online and like everything is just so convenient. I could see everything basically at my phone's hand, like in my phone's hand.
It's
like
because you compare yourself to. Does your subconscious compare yourself to other people?
Yes, absolutely. I think, and a lot of people do that, like as far as just comparing themselves to other people, and that definitely is the thief of all joy. Because when I first started like blogging and like podcasting and stuff like that, I was like, damn, I'm kind of moving fast in this. Like I wasn't like receiving it how I was supposed to receive it. I just really thought like you were saying earlier, I was not supposed to be in those rooms. I was not supposed to be with those people. Like I've had so many opportunities as far as me just like random shit. Like this girl had asked me to go to that sneaker ball, like the last one that they had. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like it's just been random shit like that that had just fallen in my lap, and I was just like, maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe this is not for me.
Why did you feel that way?
Not you turning into not the interview. I think it takes for me personally, it was a journey of me just getting to know myself and on all levels, and not just like the surface levels. I'm sorry, the surface levels, like me, like knowing myself to my core and like understanding like why I do the things that I do, the people that I attract. It's just, I feel like that plays a huge part in like just an imposter syndrome, period. And that's why I like that tweet. They said it's not real, and that's why I'm kind of trying to figure it out. I don't think it's real either, because if you have full confidence in yourself, why do you feel like you're not valuable?
I think because confidence is something that like comes in waves and comes and goes. For some people, like I always think of life is rocky, shit be rocky for real, so like you got your times where shit's smooth sailing, and you got times where you're really being tested by the waters. So I think that confidence is something that people consistently possess, but I think it may show up stronger in certain situations. If everything is going good for you right now, it's easy to be confident.
Right. Exactly.
But if shit's fucked up, and you're dealing with something, or you're experiencing something you've never been through before, you're losing people around you, or whatever the case may be, like now you're forced to deal with something different. So it's not like I'm just gonna sit back, or you sit back in your seat and be like, well, I don't believe in myself at all, but this is really hard. So what am I doing here? Is this the place for me? So I think confidence is something that it's there. People have it, but I think a lot of people aren't necessarily always honest about their relationship with confidence.
Yes,
Like
that's so true.
it happens. True. Like we're human beings,
right? Yeah. It's like happiness Absolutely. Or contentment. Like you're not gonna always be a confident person.
Absolutely.
And I feel the same way when it comes to creating content. Like you're gonna have waves of like motivation. Like oh, I'm feeling this. Like this is me. This is it. And then you're gonna have like times where it's like, I'm not feeling too certain about this. And I think that's where it just kind of conflicts. Like, am I really doing this for me, or what is going on?
Or are you doing it to satisfy other people, or what you think other people would like?
Yes. So. How do y'all feel about like visibility as far as having like a brand? Do you feel like you can be? Why you smile like that? Do you feel like you can be like overdoing it on visibility on social media? Is what I mean.
These days, I'm not too concerned with like trying to be or do anything. I just want to be authentic. So I'm a share what the fuck I want to share. I'm sorry if we can't cuss. I'm gonna share what the fuck I want to share. I'm a talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. I feel like in my journey, I've been doing this for the last decade. So I feel like in my journey, I feel like I could do what I want to do. And if you like it, you like it. If you do not, that is perfectly okay as well. If people don't know who I am, that is perfectly okay as well. Somebody gonna educate you. I don't gotta educate you. You know, but I just feel like with sharing too much or sharing too little, you just have to kind of like move away from like, oh, is somebody gonna like this because it's a part of my brand, and just be authentic. Right. So like not worrying about like, oh, I have to have a certain Instagram aesthetic. Oh, I have to be like a TikTok star.
Right.
Auntie is old. Okay.
You're not doing no little dances.
No, not at all. I don't have time for that shit. And I just don't. I don't have time. There are people who are made for that, but I just want to be me. I don't want to do. I just want to be. Like the girl on TikTok said, I don't want to do. I just want to be. And like I think that's where I'm at with it right now. Yes, is there bags off of, being a content creator and all of this, that, and that? Absolutely. Yeah. But if it was meant for me to get that bag, I would have been fucking got it.
Yeah. Do y'all feel like with the visibility topic, do y'all feel like the more visible you are, like people kind of, what am I looking for? Like the words I'm looking for, like it's kind of like a clout thing. Like if you're on social media, people making it to a clout thing, and then we start talking about gatekeeping.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think, okay, so to speak about visibility in the sense that you asked it about, like, first, like, I'm a person, I like branding. I like marketing. I like making shit look cute. So you're going to get a brand from me.
Right.
I don't care if y'all want it or not. You're going to see this. You're going to see my aesthetic because it pleases me.
Right.
Because I'm going to put my best foot forward when it comes to me and myself. So, yes, when I'm creating, I might be thinking about how people will receive this. But ultimately, it's like, honestly, I thought this little thing right here, this one little detail was raw as hell. And I don't give a fuck if nobody else does. Right. So, like, I'm so super happy about this that nobody could knock me off of it. So, when it comes to creating and being visible, like, I think it just depends on who you want to be visible to. Like, I'm not looking to appease to everybody. I'm not. I know that I'm somebody's cup of tea. I'm somebody's shot of Hennessy, and somebody like coffee. Yes. And I'm not coffee. That's cool. That's cool. So let me go over here with the tea lovers, the people that like a little turn up. Like I'm gonna make myself visible to those folks and appeal to those people because that's what's gonna be easy. That's not necessarily easy, but that's what's more natural to go towards, is to lean towards people that see you for who you are instead of kind of walking yourself into situations where you'll be forced to deal with imposter syndrome. I'm not going to walk into a coffee shop and try to make people like me. Right. If I'm tea, I'm just not going to do it. The people there love coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they like what they like, and that's fine. Yes. You don't have to. I think social media has made everybody want to be likable by everybody. Yes. And that's cool and all, but like, let's be real. We humans, we all got different personalities. We can all coexist together, absolutely, but we don't have to like each other. And that's just, and I think that's just real.
That's just real. I feel like I don't want to be liked by everybody because everybody should like you.
I don't want to be liked by everybody because I don't like everybody.
We know, Kia. We know.
If anybody knows,
absolutely.
Diamond knows that she'd be like, "Oh, how do you feel?" Well, Diamond, I don't fucking like these people,
and that's what it is.
And Diamond be like, "Damn, bitch."
But I wanted to talk about gatekeeping. I don't know if it like goes with the topic, but I think it's something that's very real as far as like visibility goes. And like the people that's kind of higher up, they will gatekeep certain experiences or certain resources from you if you're not this person that they perceive you to be. Has that ever happened to y'all? Where y'all felt like y'all was like left out of a community basically that you are essentially a part of?
No.
The silence.
I feel like I don't know, because am I checking for them?
Right.
Let's start with that. Am I checking for them? Am I trying to get access to what they got access to? So, you know, we're all Chicago based. So, like the gatekeeping.
The gate is it gatekeeping in Chicago?
The gatekeeping in Chicago is and I put it in parentheses, not even quotation marks. Because it's kind of just like, well, who are we trying to impress? Who is you? I'm not finna get into the promontory. I'm not finna get into Mansion on Rush. I'm not finna get into Persona. I can't come to girl. Walk in there. What?
But I feel like it does happen, not even only in Chicago, which I do see it in Chicago a lot. And I know this was like a hot topic like a couple weeks ago as far as they said, what did they say? That we don't have a lot of artists, or the music industry in Chicago is basically shitty as fuck or whatever.
That's a lie.
But
it's a lie. I love the person who said it. I know the person who said it. I love her, and I let her know that I disagree with that because it's just that there is a lot of, and I think Des could agree with this as well.
Right, because y'all break artists.
It is the music industry and the scene, whatever you consider that, is very alive and well. But it's more of the fact that are you paying attention to it?
Yeah.
Do you have a corporate job where you gotta play? Said something. 20 by money bag, yo, 25 times a day.
Is real because do we actually look at new artists? Do we source for them? And I know Illinois do for sure.
Illinois, absolutely.
Right. Yes.
But 9 times out of 10, the corporate stuff, absolutely not. People call themselves music journalists and they don't have their ears to the streets
at all.
And then if they do, they recycle the same people 50 billion times over. So, to answer your question,
spicy.
Fuck them.
I hear that.
Okay, well, in regards to gatekeeping, like, yeah, I mean, like, I think we all saw the tweet. Like, I mean, Biko even sat down and had a conversation with her so they could get to, so I'm glad that happened. But, like, I do think gatekeeping exists. I'm definitely happy to be with a brand that doesn't really do that. Like, I think Illinois really stands like on just aligning with people who align with us. Like, again, we know who's
actually
our
one of my favorite interviews I did with
we had so much fun, and I think like
time.
every time we do that, we have so much fun with people. So I think that like we're in a really good position to like put people on, but there are definitely other outlets and people that just seek clout. Like that's what you said. Are people seeking clout in 2022? Absolutely. Like it's easy. It could be a quick bag. You could be one video away from viral. So yeah, people definitely want that, but I don't know. Like I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what my team represents. So like I can't speak from a perspective of something that I don't do.
And I would say for me personally, I think for me, if I like you, I like you. As you know, Diamond. If I like you, I like you. If I do not, that is perfectly okay as well. That doesn't mean that you're like a terrible person or a bad person. We just don't align. So I think with gatekeeping in Chicago, I think you need to remain like as authentic as possible and not turn into the people that are trying to quote unquote gatekeep.
Right.
Because it's kind of just like, again, you can't get into promontory, you can't get into into persona, mansion or rush.
But you know what? Chicago is kind of like the only city that I've seen do this as far as us not really holding each other down. Like in Atlanta, they be supporting the fuck out of each other in Atlanta. Chicago, you don't see that. It's like every man for himself in Chicago type shit.
It's like a survival mode.
It is.
Like, I think Chicago is like real life GTA sometimes.
Literally.
It feels like it's just like, I don't want to say savagery sometimes because I'm not going to make it seem like the city is just absolutely terrible. But like when you actually kind of break down some of the things that's happened, it's kind of like it's crazy what really happens here. And I think so many people from different backgrounds, like we all from different places, all got different stories, so we all are carrying our own things with us, so you never know what a person is carrying with them. And I think like a lot of times like it comes out in how we interact with each other and things like that. So I definitely feel like it's important for us to kind of just like give grace and like just start looking at each other as humans again. Because when we realize we all having human experiences out here, it takes away a lot of the
I know what you're saying.
But
that's why I feel like social media has fucked up people's perception of visibility.
Hate. Oh, well. Thank you.
No, he's right. But that's why I feel like social media has fucked up like what visibility means to everybody. And like that's why I just admire Beyonce. Like we all can't be Beyonce, of course. Like she worked her way to get up there to be off of social media and only do the things that she wants to do. Yeah. So it's like, how much do we give to people? How much do we show people?
Whatever makes you comfortable.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's a rule to it. I don't think you should like try to subscribe like, oh, I should be Beyonce. Whatever makes you comfortable. Like, if you feel like you want to give a day in the life on TikTok every week,
I don't want to see it, honestly. I'm playing.
I like those. Yeah. I love the day in the lives. I love to see what y'all cooking. I love to see where like
there's some shit I just don't love. Like you could have kept it to yourself. Type shit.
But like if you whatever makes you comfortable, whatever resonates with you. I think people really need to shift away from like, oh, this gonna hit, this gonna go viral, this gonna impact.
Chloe Bailey.
Just do what you want to do.
Child. Chloe Blade
with her Empire music.
Child.
Listen, beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gowns, child.
Beautiful shape. I love that shape. That
ass is ass.
Hey, that is
but
a
it's
shape,
like, and that's what I mean, like, as far as imposter syndrome. Like, we don't know who she is, of course, but she's a very talented girl. Extremely talented girl. But it's like the songs that she makes, I feel like she's trying to make a hit.
You think she's trying to, or do you think that she is exploring her artistry?
She's trying to make a hit. I personally think she's trying to make a hit.
I feel like she's trying very hard too, because I think like musically she knows her range. Like she can do like musically she can do so much that I feel like she's taking the easy way out right now to try to get a hit. Like absolutely, I agree with you.
I absolutely feel like that.
I don't know if I agree. I just think she just she 23. She knows she got an ass on her.
Yeah.
No, shake your ass, do
but
that.
The music is horrible.
The music, I'm talking about the music.
Very much Empire.
Did y'all listen to the last one?
The Treat Me
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I don't care. It's not. I'm not finna be like, oh, babe, put on that Chloe Bailey. I'm not finna do that. I ain't doing that. Okay. I ain't doing that, but like, do I support who she is as a woman?
That's
and
how
I love that she's being, it seems as if she's being unapologetically herself. Absolutely. I'm 100% for that.
Yeah.
100%.
I feel like personally, back to imposter syndrome, like it affects me personally because I feel like, okay, I've created like this brand, this image of myself, and like
which
is me at the end of the day. It's just me. It's a part of me.
But like, what is so what I'm asking is, what is your brand? What is this image that you've created for yourself?
Well, I feel like people perceive me differently from what I actually am. That's what I'm saying.
What do people perceive you as?
People perceive me as a man basher. And like
I would have went with bad bitch.
I just got a quick question.
I would have went with
and like,
bad
it's
bitch.
been years since I even bashed a man, right?
But okay, so can we talk about that?
Yeah,
like,
let's do it.
So you stuck with that for a while, right?
Right, I did.
Okay,
yeah.
Because you was really out here bashing the mans on the internet. Like,
I feel
that's
like,
what it was.
But I still feel the same about, maybe I don't feel the same about everything that I've said, of course.
Right.
But I still feel the same about misogyny and like niggas do need to get talked about and niggas don't have emotional intelligence and niggas do be dogs. Like I still feel that same way, but it's just like, yes, I've been characterized as that, but at the end of the day, essentially, it was more so about women knowing their worth because what I've experienced in a toxic relationship. So the way that it was projected, it probably was like, okay, this is what she is. But at the end of the day, if you read my old blogs, it was about women knowing their worth. And like, it's just funny how things can just get misconstrued because of the way that you project them.
Yeah, or how you put it out there too. Because
Them niggas don't even read.
Yes, it's also how you put it out there. Because I mean, I love your content, Diamond. Like you're very outspoken. That's one thing that I love about you. You say what the fuck you want to say. That's great. But it's like with you saying that, with you being very blunt, you kind of just got to know what's going to come with it. Like people are going to, especially through social media, we don't know each other. Yeah. So the only thing that I do know about you is what you choose to or not to post. So like I thought you was a man basher until we sat down with Illinois, and I'm like, oh, she's so like completely different. Like you have so many different views. Right. So I think like because you said you were younger, it was the way you were putting it out there. It was received well. It worked. But I think now, like you said, you still feel the same way, but you'll be able to communicate how you feel so much more in depth, and you know, facts. Like just with so much more range now because you had to learn. You know, like you had to see that, and it's like I think even you getting kind of stuck with that stigma, kind of. I think when we get stuck with stigmas in general, not even just you, like people in general, we get stuck with stigmas. It's like, well, am I going to live up to this or am I going to actually go be who I really am?
Yes. And I feel like that's why I wanted to have this episode and why this episode is so important because, okay, like, yeah, that was a part of me. Like, do I still not really fuck with niggas? I don't. But do I still want to be with a nigga at the end of the day? I do. So it's like, I do want some type of balance in that realm and people just seeing like me as a full package and not just this one perception of me. So yeah. Have y'all ever had to like deal with anything like that?
Yeah.
Especially like being in that field, like being seen so much.
Yeah, it's still people that think I still interview rappers and I ain't did that.
Right.
And I ain't did that in like almost 10 years. But like I told you, on the space with Marissa like a couple weeks ago. Sometimes you'll come across people where they think that you are still that same person and you can't allow them to put you in a box. You have to continuously evolve. But even still, when you evolve, sometimes you'll have people who still put you in that box. Oh,
because that's what they met you as.
Oh, that's D. That's the bad bitch blog. And that's the man basher. Right. She think niggas ain't shit. But like that's not you, but also it's not up to you to kind of like change your mind because the audience that's meant for you is the ones that's meant for you. They're gonna gravitate towards you. They're gonna grow with you, and that's all that matters most. Those old people like they gonna latch on like D funny as hell or. You know, she gonna tell us like we ain't shit or our dick's little, but like.
I ain't lying about that.
You did not. But
them things don't be dicking.
But it's like you're continuously growing,
right,
and evolving. And
I'm touching 30 for God's sake.
You're touching 30. What they say? Old bitches win.
Old bitches win. Yeah, so that's been like a little battle as far as like something in my 20s because like I was telling y'all earlier, I had no clue I even wanted to get into this type of field or this like blogging podcast. I never saw that for myself ever. Like I went to school, I was gonna work a job. Yeah, that's what it was, and then. I started on Snapchat. I was just like making funny videos, like saying shit, and people was like, "Oh, you should do this. You should start." Blah, blah. So it happened naturally. But I think I've grown since then. I was looking at some of my old shit, like, wow, I was really out here wilding.
That's how I be feeling. Like, damn, I'm embarrassed, but also I love that candor. I love that.
It was very candid.
Very candid. I love that you were not afraid to say anything. You might not agree, and it's okay not to agree with your old self for sure.
Yep. Let's talk about it.
It's so okay not to agree with your. I've said shit years ago that
we can. It's okay to change our mind. Like,
and I think unfortunately social media does not give you the grace to do that, but you take the grace
because the
anyway.
internet does not forget a thing.
You take it anyway. Who you gonna let these people who don't even fucking know you tell you that you can't evolve and grow?
Exactly.
Hell no. You take that grace anyway. Take it anyway. Period.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree with that. Like, you should definitely take your grace. I like the way you said that. Like, take it, because like if you don't give it to yourself, or if you don't take that where it should be given to you, like you're gonna be walking around feeling crazy. But I think like it's also too just when it comes to like to that, I think it's important for you to just like get to a space where it's just like fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Like and I
it really is always fuck people
because
though,
I think it's like why like I think
it's
it's crazy. Like in my own self-reflection, I think it was crazy that I was walking around really carrying and trying to live up to what other people felt like what I should be. That's not my responsibility to live up to your expectations of me. Like that's not like you can think whatever the fuck you want to think about me. I know who I am. And I think like the more you become comfortable with yourself and just who you are, like whether it's a flaw, whether it's the good parts about you, like the more you become comfortable with your triggers, things that are going to send you into different ways, like the more you become comfortable in that, I think some of that stuff just starts to matter less. Like for me personally, it just started to matter less. Like I would go from being anxious about certain things, overthinking it, to that shit don't even cross my mind in some instances now. Or if it does, it's like, all right, this is a test. Like you're gonna continuously
and you know what? I love that you said that.
Yes,
and especially when you already dealt with some shit beforehand. It's like, okay, this shit again. Like I know how to deal with this again. You know, and I think that's like really huge as far as part of our 20s. Like we really learn our hard lessons in our 20s, and we evolve from that. So I just want to let everybody know. It's a new bitch. It's still me because I'm still gonna talk about shit.
But you grown.
But it's other things to talk about outside of men and dating, and like that's something I really just want to hone in on this entire season. Like everything should not be male centered. I'm tired of talking about these niggas. And I'm tired. And as she looks back at the niggas, tired of it. And it's like as she looks back at the niggas. And just stepping into the authentic self, because of course I'm still gonna talk about dating because it affects my life, but in an authentic manner, you know.
Yeah.
So
bitch, we are depressed.
Yeah, we are depressed out here, right? Talk about sex. It's like shit that we actually struggle with on a daily basis. So I'm extremely happy that y'all came and sat down to talk to me about the imposter syndrome. Because I do struggle with it, but I'm at a point where I don't give a fuck anymore. And y'all gon' if my pussy hairy and I pull it out, that's what you're gonna eat. Like, I'm sorry.
Real niggas don't
and whatever exactly.
Real niggas don't
whatever I put out there, you're gonna either take it or you're gonna hate it. And like, that's just what it is. And I just want to leave everybody with just stepping into your full self. And like Destiny said, or Pretty. You know what? Like Pretty Riot said, just feel everything, your triggers, feel it all, and like really hone in with yourself and grow from there. And I really appreciate you ladies for even giving me this little boost of confidence today on the show.
Like I told you, if you are in the room, you're
supposed to be there.
You're supposed to be there. So why doubt yourself? Because and then honestly, the people who are in the room who you feel like, oh, like they belong and they fit in and blah blah blah, they probably feel the same way that you do.
Yes.
They probably
like
feel
I
the
be feeling like a
same
lot
way.
of people feel like they're an outsider, and we don't talk about shit like that. And we just need to hone in on what makes us unique. And just if you're weird, embrace that shit. I accepted a long time ago that I am not a normal person, and like that's okay. I'm gonna be good with that, but I'm accepting that and I'm growing growing from it. And I really appreciate this conversation. I think we definitely got to the bottom of the shit. What do y'all feel like? We're gonna wrap it up. What do y'all feel like people can do to really embrace themselves fully and not really struggle with that back and forth of imposter syndrome?
I would say if you feel like you don't match the credentials of other people, maybe try to seek or put yourself in there. So if there's anything that you need to learn, a class you need to take, a program that you need to complete, do that shit. Because again, if you're in the room, there's a reason why you're in the room.
Yes, ma'am.
So, but if you feel like you're not qualified to be in said room, figure out what you need to do to be there.
Yes.
So, is it a class? Is it somebody you need to talk to? Is it a program you need to be a part of? Do that shit. Invest that time in it so you can be like, okay, not only am I in the room, but I'm also qualified to be here. As well.
I do want to say something to that. And it's just like when you're shifting your status, you're going to be uncomfortable, right? And you have to embrace that new level. It's not necessarily the fact that you're a fraud or you don't belong, but you're just shifting your status.
But sometimes also, I think being uncomfortable is so needed.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you just have to, like, be in the most uncomfortable situation you've ever had to, like, change your life.
Yes.
You know, like, I think sometimes, like, it takes for you to be completely thrown out of comfortability to get the shit done that you really want to do.
And it's fucked up because I feel like I thrive in comfort. Like, even when I was just having this conversation with Kia earlier, like, if I'm in a space and I feel like I don't know nobody, I don't feel like I'm quiet. Like,
same.
She's not gonna.
Why? I'm reading the
I got a Virgo moon. I'm quiet. Like, and like, I know some people that have met me over the years, they're like, who is this girl on social media? Like, they don't even know me because if I don't feel comfortable with you, I cannot thrive in that setting. And
I don't connect with you.
I cannot connect with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't connect with you. Don't make me feel welcome. And once I feel like I'm welcome, I'm in that space. And that's why I feel like I stayed creating the kind of like the same content for so long because I was so comfortable with it. But everything is changing, forever changing. And we have to be okay with those shifts. Do y'all have anything y'all want to promote?
Absolutely. So wait, I want to answer your question about what to leave with. So I definitely would say with dealing with imposter syndrome, like, don't be afraid to get to do the work. Like, don't be afraid of the nitty gritty. Don't be afraid of the tears. Like, don't be afraid to, like, actually confront what makes you feel like you're an imposter. Like, what if you're feeling like a fraud, like, don't be afraid to confront that, because the more honest you are with yourself, you know, like, the more honest and authentic you're able to be with everybody else around you. So I just say sit and take time with yourself. Like, find things that you like to do, get that shit out. I'm journaling. Y'all can audio journal. Talk to the voice notes in your phone. Like, do things to make yourself feel better. Get it out. Hear yourself. Like, if nobody's gonna give you space or give you sound or give you a space, like, hear yourself. Give yourself that space. So that's what I would like to say.
I just want to say one last thing about imposter syndrome, then we're going to wrap it up. I love what you said. I think it's people have a disconnect with themselves as far as, like, what they're capable of and how they see themselves, essentially, right? And the confidence, I'm going to piggyback on the confidence thing. Like, that is so true. Like, confidence comes in waves. So once you're feeling that burst of confidence, I would just say, like, remember that. Like, remember who you truly are, essentially, at your core. And we're going to wrap it up. So I would love for y'all to give me y'all social media handles. Where can they find y'all?
You can find me on all social media platforms.
Not this sex talk voice.
You can find me on all social media platforms at KiasSmithWrites. That's KiaSmithWrites.
Yes, and you can follow me on Instagram at Pretty Riot and Twitter at _Pretty Riot. I'm gonna rob that white girl so I can get my ad name back. She didn't block me now, but it's okay. It's okay. She gonna get a cease and desist one of these days, but it's all right.
Insane.
But yeah, follow me. Tune in to Illinois Radio. You know I'm gonna shout my home team out. But yes, thanks for having me.
Thanks, ladies, so much for joining me. And y'all know what to do. Y'all can follow me at the Dosage brand on Twitter and Diamond Socials on Instagram. Thank y'all so much for sitting with me and having this conversation.